All right, today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some details to our work to try to create a sense of depth. And what we're going to do is we're going to add drop shadows, outlines, and then we're going to also make our lettering look like it's glowing, kind of put a glow around everything. So to start that, we're going to start with the drop shadow. What I'm going to do is I am going to put a drop shadow in on the graffiti text down low. So I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right layer. It says it's layer 4, but the first layer there, the blue graffiti text. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the selection tool, which is in the upper left-hand corner. I want to use the blob version, which is down there at the lower, right there at the center of the lower part of the screen. And what I want to do is I want to tap my blue text. And you see there that what I've done now is I've highlighted everything that's blue there in this layer, okay? So what I want to do now is I want to actually add a new layer on top. I'm going to turn the awesome, the pink stuff, I'm going to turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. And in this layer, I'm going to choose black, right? And then I'm going to select the paint, the spray can, and I'm going to fill this selection area like so. So it covers everything, which is fine, not a problem at all. That's what I want, that's the point. And then what I want to do is I want to turn off the selection area by going to the select menu at the top, tap it, I hit deselect to turn that off. And what I want to do is I'm going to drag that underneath my original layer and it disappears, which is not a problem. That's what I want. What I want to do now is I want to go to the edit menu and I'm going to choose transform layer, tell it to move, scale, and rotate. And now what I want to do is move that slightly to create this illusion that there's a drop shadow. What that does is it makes the eye believe that the lettering is up off the page, that there's a light source, and it's shining down, and it's created this shadow. Your letters have created this shadow. It just gives you that added layer of depth, which makes the project more interesting. Where you put it is up to you. If you want the light to appear like it's coming from the upper left-hand corner of the screen, this works. If you want it to look like it's coming from below, I would move it like so. If you want it to come from the right, like that, you just kind of fine tune it until it looks the way you want it to. When you got it set, hit apply and you're good. So I'll go ahead and turn awesome back on and there you go. You can see the difference here. The graffiti, the word graffiti looks a lot more interesting than the word awesome does because it's got that extra added feature. So moving on to the second part of this demo, what I want to do, I'm going to turn that off so it doesn't distract us. And I want to work on the word awesome by itself. This time what I want to do is I want to put an outline around it, and I'm going to use pretty much the same technique with a little variation. So I'm going to go turn on the selection tool again by tapping that box up top. I want to make sure that I'm just checking to make sure that I'm in the right layer, so that's highlighted. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap the pink word awesome. So it selects everything. That's great. There's actually a lot of similarity between the two selection tools, the magic wand and the blob. Let me show you what would happen if I use the magic wand here. I'll deselect this, choose the magic wand. If I tap awesome, notice it didn't pick the ME up because that's not attached. The difference between these two tools is the magic wand will pick up anything that's the same pixel you selected and attached and connected. The blob will pick up anything in the screen that's the same color. Doesn't matter whether or not it's attached. Doesn't matter. So I picked it up. I got that. So now what I want to do is I want to go to the select menu, and one of the things that you can do with this line is you can feather it. So you'll notice at the bottom of that list it says feather, and it should usually say 2. That's the default. I've been working with this, so it said 100, but it's really only 2. So this is the way it should look. And what that means is that the edge of the selection area is going to be really crisp, really fine. You get a really clean line. So what I want to do is I want to change that. I'm going to set it for 25. I'm just kind of picking a random number to see what it's going to look like. There's a lot of trial and error with this, so feel free to try it and then go back and redo it and modify it, try different numbers. You have to hit the button that says feather, and what you'll notice is the selection line, that marching ants line around my lettering, it's going to change slightly. And now what I want to do is I'm going to go add a layer. And again with black, because I want to do a black outline, I am going to then spray paint over my original. And you notice that the line is wider and kind of fuzzier. There's less definition there. So what I'll do is I'll deselect, drag that underneath, and you see now I got an outline. I got an outline around my lettering, and if I turn everything on, you can see you're getting more, you're creating more interest now with your piece. So what you could do with this actually is you could go back and you can add several different lines if you wanted to. Let's turn everything off so we can see what we're doing. I'm gonna go back to the original layer, and I'm gonna redo these steps. And I'm gonna do it with a little smaller, and we'll do it with white to see, we'll add like a white line between the pink and the black. That's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm going to select my lettering, create a new layer. I'm gonna go to the select menu and hit feather. Let's change this to, I'm gonna go 15 this time because I want it to be in between the black and the white, or the pink, excuse me. So I'm gonna select pink or white. We'll spray. So I cover my original. I'm gonna hit deselect, drag that underneath. So now there's a white line. Let's add the black back. All right, and you kind of got multiple lines going on there. So if you want them wider, you feather more. If you want them smaller, you feather less. It's strictly up to you. It's a personal preference. So that's part 2 of this. Part 3 of this demo is we're gonna go ahead and add kind of a glow around everything by using the feathering option, but really exaggerating it. So I'm gonna go back to my awesome layer, and again, using the blob tool, I'm gonna select everything. This time when I go to the select menu and I hit feather, I'm gonna go and set it really high. So the highest you can go is 100, that's the max. And I'm gonna choose, we'll choose yellow, but I wanna modify it. I wanna try to get a brighter yellow, so let's up the white. Okay, well, I'm just gonna kind of adjust, get where I want, we'll set it like that. So that's the color I'm choosing, and I wanna create a new layer. You always wanna add layers anytime you're adding something new, so that way you keep it separate. I'll go back with my spray can, and you're gonna get this really exaggerated version of your original text, like so. That's fine, that works. I'm gonna hit deselect. I'm gonna drag this under everything, like so. I'll start turning things back on. Oops, turn the pink off. And there you go. So you got this glow to really kind of make it look like it's glowing. What you can do is you can take that layer, it says it's layer 19 in the menu. What I wanna do is, because it's a little too dark, I'm gonna fade that down. I'm gonna do that using the slider. There's a slider at the top of the layer menu underneath the word normal. It's set for 100% right now on my iPad. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock that down, and you see that the yellow layer fades. So it looks more faded, you can kind of see through it. Now what I would do is, if I was gonna import a picture of a brick wall, or like whatever I want to work over, that would really show the true impact of this whole glow feature. That's what I'm going to do now, actually, is I'm going to go back and import an image into the background. To do that, I go File, and I hit Import. I'm going to go as a layer from Photos. Always do it this way. I got a photo a long time ago. It's one of the first ones I saved. You want a big picture. You want a picture that from the internet is large in size, high resolution. If I do a Google search, I would do brick wall high res, or brick wall large image, because you want the bigger picture. You can't. If you choose a small picture and then try to enlarge it, what happens? It gets pixelated as you do that. So I'm going to go Edit and Transform, because I want to make it large enough to fill the whole page, like so. Hit Apply. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Transform. There we go. And then since this is the background, I'm going to drag that all the way back down to the bottom of the list here. And you can see you kind of got that glow factor going on there. So I'll turn everything back on. Oh, here we go. And you got a better idea of how this all works. So if I wanted to make the word awesome and everything attached to it move together, because I feel kind of like it's blocking the word graffiti, what I would do is there's these little chain links underneath the eyeball on each layer. So you'll see I tap that one for the word awesome in pink. I go back and do that for the white version, the black version, and the glow. So those 4 layers are linked together, and I'm going to go edit, transform layer, move, scale, rotate. Oh, I apologize. Here, I'm going to be in the right layer, so I make sure that one of those layers is activated. Transform layer, move, scale, rotate. There we go. And you can see it's all going together. So, and that pretty much wraps up today's lesson.